For a little more perspective on tonight's big debate, let's turn to Jim DeFede, the host of Facing South Florida.
Yep.
So, Jim, there's a reason they're here in Miami in general, and specifically Governor Inslee going to Little Haiti. What's the significance of that?
It's interesting in that report. It talked about Governor Inslee going to Little Haiti to discuss climate change. It's in part because Little Haiti, and this is one of those things that we need to be covering more, Little Haiti is part of the highest ground in South Florida. So suddenly an area that has long been economically depressed, had a lot of problems with violence, with drugs, with a lot of different issues, is suddenly very valuable land, and you're seeing land speculators come in and starting to buy land in Little Haiti, anticipating climate change is going to make it someday beachfront property.
And that's having an impact on the folks who have lived in Little Haiti for a long time. Jim, one of the issues I suspect will come up will be health care. How important will that be in this campaign, do you think?
Well, look, and this is actually a really good place to have the health care issue discussed. I mean, 2 of the congressional districts in the country that have the highest level of Obamacare recipients are in South Florida. So the issue of health care is a major one here in South Florida. You might even see some of the candidates reference that very fact. Hialeah has one of the highest areas of Obamacare anywhere in the country. So I would expect health care to be a major factor.
And a lot of people are talking about how this has split up the debates over 2 nights. We have Elizabeth Warren, who's one of the front runners, but she's not going to be debating directly against Bernie Sanders. Better to be a big fish in a small pond or a small fish in a big pond?
My guess is Elizabeth Warren would prefer to be on a stage, not so much with Bernie Sanders, but with Joe Biden. Everyone wants to sort of go head-to-head with Joe Biden, particularly Elizabeth Warren. She has shown an ability to sort of get under his skin, to attack his credibility on certain issues, and to really talk the talk when it comes to those economic disparity issues that I think are going to resonate as part of 2020. Yes, the economy is doing better, but is it really doing better for most people? Wage disparity, income disparity, all of those things are growing. That's a sweet spot for her, and it's one where Joe Biden doesn't discuss it as well.
Real quick, since she's the front runner in this debate tonight, do you think they're going to be targeting her, the others on stage?
I don't think so. I think that would be a mistake. I think the candidates, all the candidates right now, are going to be trying to more introduce themselves with a limited amount of time. I don't think they're going to take shots at Elizabeth Warren. I don't even think they're going to take shots at Joe Biden on the following night. I think they're going to direct most of their attention at Donald Trump. But again, that notion of trying to get across a message, trying to introduce yourself, particularly the people on this stage, Tulsi Gabbard, all those candidates, this is a brand new time for them. So I think they're going to use their time to introduce themselves.
Okay, it'll be a busy night. Jim DeFede will be back at 7 o'clock, and again, post-debate on CBS 4 News tonight at 11.